This holiday break, many people took the time to rest their minds and bodies, but it's not just during these holidays that we should take care of our mental well-being. Let's learn more from British meditation teacher Denise Lawrence. Denise, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
You've been here in the Philippines now for 2 weeks. You've traveled to so many cities. What is your current take on the mental well-being of Filipinos?
One thing that is particularly noticeable is the Filipinos have deep spirituality in comparison with most people in the rest of the world. And I think it's because it's an ancient culture, and there are many Filipinos who are still very connected to 500, 600, 700 years ago. Many things are still part of the culture. And it is also a very loving and sensitive people. Therefore, they're very sensitive to meditation, which is very subtle.
Mm-hmm. So when you talk about deep spirituality, now that we are back to our normal lives after the pandemic, are Filipinos basically reacting positively more to family issues, work, business, and stress-related events?
Actually, Filipinos are deeply stressed. Overwork, too much that they have to cram into one period of time, and inability to get adequate sustenance by communication and contact with their families. I particularly experienced this with people who have to work far away, people who are doing dangerous jobs, whether it's in the services or in medical or other caring professions. Too much burnout, too much stress, and feeling guilty about not being able to do what they expect of themselves. And this is why I think that something like meditation and bringing things back into realistic perspective is helpful.
And how can Filipinos do this?
Well, we teach meditation. We have centers in many parts of the Philippines, in many cities where I have been visiting, like in Davao, in Makati, in Quezon City, in Tagaytay, in so many parts, and also online, because people do not have time to go to visit a place to get peaceful because it's so stressful just driving through
all the traffic.
But if you can on Zoom or on YouTube or wherever it is that we put things, I do quite a lot on that, and you just press your button on your computer and there you can go easily into a guided meditation or a talk or an interactive discussion about how to deal with what is troubling your mind. It may be family issues, it may be work issues, it may be just that they are so, oppressed by circumstances that you just lose contact with your spirit. And we are bringing people back to how to be with your heart, be with your soul, and think deep about what's really important. Be in contact with your conscience, listen to your conscience. So many people are under the influence of social media and this and that. And to find your own power, to be your own person, and not be under the influence of things which belittle you, diminish you, and no good.
But you mentioned a very good point there, Denise. We already have so many challenges in life, family, work, but we also now have to deal with social media, with our computers, with our smartphones, and also how to relate with it, and also how to respond to it.
You see, it's designed to be addictive. And AI, algorithms, all of this, especially designed to interfere with people's autonomy. And the law and so on can never keep up with this. And so we have to actually teach people to come back to themselves and think for themselves and be your own person and not give away your power.
But is it easy for Filipinos to withdraw from social media, withdraw from their smartphones?
Well, I think if you provide something else, you know, in competition with that, and also personal connection, right? People actually want it. I've been doing quite a lot of talks on caring for the mind. People do not know what the mind is, where it is. You have a mind, you've never seen it. People think of the consciousness as an epiphenomenon of the brain. You hear so much chemical, this, that, therapy, and so on, but it's not working for many people.
Yeah, because many people now would rather just socialize with their phones and with the 1,000, 2,000 friends that they have online rather than interact with people in person.
I start to tell people, you know, if you have 4, 5, 6 really good friends, lifelong friends, isn't that better? All these 1,000 friends, they're not friends. They're just ways that the social media companies have found to take you away from yourself. And I really am trying to get people to restore themselves, to empower themselves, to take over autonomy in their lives. And when we start talking about this, yes, they like that.
And Denise, I also want to look back into your background, because aside from being an author and teacher, you were a former journalist and worked for the BBC and for the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation during the early 70s. Why did you leave a promising career in favor of a spiritual path?
Well, I was very interested in politics. At that time, it was very, very active, and there were huge changes going on. And I actually had a calling, a spiritual calling, very powerful spiritual calling, and I thought to myself, let me just see. And I was doing both together at the same time for some time. And then I decided that, no, this is what I should really do, because I'm fundamentally a teacher by nature, by inclination, and I found that working in the media and news was not going to fulfill me to the extent that this does, and I found it was a good choice. It suits me, who I am, what I am. And of course I still do broadcasting a lot, but on this topic, you know, and I'm still very connected with news, current affairs and all of this, because, you know, spirituality is not up on the top of a mountain sitting on a cloud somewhere. It is how to be in contact with your spirit in a real way, in charge of your life, and still deal with whatever's going on. So you have your private life, your inner life, in balance with your family life, your professional life, and so on. And this enables you to handle stress, critical situations, and the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, as you know.
Yes, and we would really like to thank you for all the advice that you've shared with us this evening. Denise Lawrence, author, broadcaster, and meditation teacher.
Thank you so much, Rico.